photographer, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to cover something really important in planning a portrait session. We are going to focus especially on the location scout today. In fact, there are so many things that go into planning a portrait shoot, so do check out these other videos right here that I made about other aspects of preparing for a portrait shoot, and also check out my blog post about how to find the best occasion for street portraits for your clients. Before we dive in, smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification as well so that you will be the first to know when the next video comes up. For the purpose of demonstrating in this video, I will be using a recent urban neon night shoot that I had with Lavina, which is amazing to work with. I will be breaking down for you the what, when, why, how, who, where, I guess. Well, anyway, I'll just tell you everything I know about location scouts, and I will also show you the results of the photo shoot so that you can have a better idea of how my thought process in the location scout translated into actual results after the photo shoot. I'm also going to use the same series of images as a photo editing tutorial. Check out these two videos right here. So hopefully this series of videos will give you a complete idea of how to set up a shoot step by step and how to execute and follow through until you get the final results. A while ago, Lavina and I decided that we want to shoot neon portraits during nighttime in Hong Kong. So we settled on the theme and we also figured out the outfits. So I showed her a mood board of where I think the best neon signs are in town. And we decided that maybe we can do a shoot around the Jordan area in Kowloon. So having figured out the outfit, the time, the approximate area, and the theme for the shoot as well, we are now ready to go on a location scout around Jordan. Before we go into more detail, I'm aware that some of you might not really have a good idea of what a location scout is. Basically, it is an excursion, or it's basically another visit that you do before the date of the actual shoot to the place that you intend to shoot at. In this case, for me, it is the Jordan area because we talked about, there might be some pretty lights there. So basically what I do is I walk around the area with my camera on. I snap photos of backgrounds that I think would be interesting and would be suitable for the actual shoot. Then I mark down all the locations of where I found these boards and I put them into a route that I can later show to Lavina so that she has a clear idea of what we're gonna do, what we are gonna shoot, what her photos are gonna turn out, etc., etc. So that's pretty much what a location scout is. An extra trip you take to that intended location of the shoot to check things out and make sure that your idea works. Now we can go into the reasons why you will want to do a location scout. I would say it's necessary if you are doing an outdoor shoot, because when you're outdoors, you don't have total control over the environment. So in my case, apparently I will have to check if the neon lights are working well, because the photos that I have in my mood board might be taken half a year ago or maybe a few years ago, and the neon signs might have been taken down, and since we are doing this shoot during the virus situation in Hong Kong, some shops might have shut down and others might decide not to turn their lights on. Other things that I will have to check out is whether or not there is enough space for us to shoot and to set up all the equipment, etc. So if you are shooting outdoors, you don't have control over your setup. While you might have a brief idea of what that place looks like, oftentimes if you are relying on your memory, it's going to betray you in the actual shoot. Do check it out, take pictures, make exact notes of what can be done and what can be done at that very spot. Another reason why you should do a location scout is that it allows you to focus on more important things during the actual shoot. In an outdoor environment, as a photographer, there are so many things that you have to take care to at the same time. Especially in this case where I'm doing a night shoot, I will have to figure out where to set up the lights, at what angle should I point them to my model, what intensity should the light be. As usual, I have to figure out my camera settings. I will have to find out the best angle to shoot my model at. I will have to direct her posing, break the ice a little bit if I am shooting someone for the first time. As a photographer, in order for your photos to turn out good, you should focus on the areas which require your artistic judgment, not purely logistical matters. It makes more sense for you to focus on how to pose your model, fixing their outfits, fixing their hair, directing them on their expression. It's vital that you allocate most of your attention to things that will actually have an impact on the overall outlook of your photos, rather rather than divesting your energy, especially if you're a one-man band, on these petty things that doesn't really have a material effect on the overall look of the images. Another way in which location scouts can help you as a photographer is when it comes to communicating your ideas with your clients. After you come back from a location scout, you will have a few snapshots here and there of the actual location on your phone. You can take screenshots, or you can really just send out the raw photos to your model so that they have an idea of what exactly that location looks like. And this will keep both of you on the same page in terms of managing each other's expectations and have a better idea of the direction that you are going for. So briefly, these are the reasons why I do location scouts, and I highly recommend that you do too. So now we are going to move on to talk about how you can do your location scout. So that is essentially what to look out for when you're on a location scout. Depending on the shoot that you're doing, the kind of things that you should keep in mind and the things that you should look out for on a location scout would vary. In this video, I am going to use the example of a night neon shoot around Hong Kong streets, and I will show you what I was thinking, what were some of the concerns that I had when I planned out this shoot. If you want a more generic list of what to look out for, head to my blog. I have this article on how to help clients find the best shoot location. For the purposes of this shoot, because neon is our main theme, therefore what I would first look for is the colors in those neon signs. Because we really wanted neon to be our overall theme of this shoot, I wanted to make sure that we are getting the best signs with the best colors in our shoot. It's not that hard really to find neon signs around Hong Kong because they're all over the place, and especially in districts like Jordan, you can at least find one sign on every street. So the issue here really isn't about finding a sign. It's about finding a sign that has the best combination of colors. Some signs have more interesting color combinations. For instance, when you look at this Kunamwa bridal cluster of signs, there is some cyan, some reds, there is some magenta, so this I would consider as a good mix of colors. There are some other signs that I didn't even bother to include in my snaps during my location scout because based on the colors, I knew that they wouldn't work well for the shoot. Now, a second thing that I had to look out for was the human traffic or the vehicle traffic. I am aware that Jordan could be quite a busy area for both people and for both vehicles. I didn't want Lavina to feel distracted or anxious because people are staring and because cars are rushing by. But since we are doing street shots, these kind of things are inevitable. So I wanted to find a spot where there aren't so many passerbys, where we can comfortably spread out our things and to slowly get into place and to warm up and to do the shoot without much stress caused by people staring and people making comments, people pointing at us. I don't want there to be too many cars because that will be a limitation of what we can do. So ideally, I want a spot where I can place Lavina close enough to the sign to get everything in frame with the composition that I desire. This requires some sort of hunting, and I think that I found a good balance at this spot. So I started taking pictures using my phone so that I could show Lavina what that spot would look like in reality. Another important thing to keep in mind when you're doing a location scout is to always walk around. In this case, Lavina and I agreed that we are only going to shoot 2 locations, which means that I only need to scout out 2 locations for the shoot. However, I scouted out way more than that. I think in the end I gave Lavina around 6 to 8 locations that we can potentially shoot. That gives you more options because just in case something happens between the date of your scout and the actual shoot, you still have backups. And when you are doing the scout yourself, there is always a chance of something better popping up if you just took another turn or if you just walked a little bit further. You don't really see the best spots until you have discovered them, so definitely take the time that you have and walk to as many places as you can, see as many things as you can, and note down as many things as you can. Another thing that Lavina and I decided that we can try is to do close-ups. So we wanted to find a neon sign and have Lavina stand really close to the signs so that we can play with some interesting lighting effects as a close-up shot. Another thing that I had to look out for was the height of that sign. There are many signs out there that look amazing and they would be great backdrops. However, if you wanted to work on a close-up, ideally I will have to find a set of neon lights that face into the streets and is of a height that is more or less equal to the human eye level. So after a bit of walking around, I realized that this might be a suitable location for us to do the close-up shots. So by now you already know why you should do a location scout and how you should do it, like the main things that you have to keep in mind when doing a location scout. Here are some final things that I would like you to note as well. Always do the location scout less than a week from the date of your shoot. As I've just mentioned, you're shooting at an outdoor location and therefore you don't have full control over what is there, what isn't there, what lights up and what doesn't. There is still a chance that things can change within a week or so, so definitely go closer to the date. So the second thing is that you should go at the same time. So in my case, we are shooting at night and that's why I did my location scout at night. If I went slightly earlier, the lights might not have lighted up and the conditions on the street might be different as well. So I want to make sure that what I see on my scout is going to actually represent the set of circumstances that I will get on my actual shoot so as to prepare myself for it. In relation to what you need to bring to the scout, really not a lot. I only bring my phone usually because I want to take snaps of interesting things that I see and that I can send it off directly to Lavina to ask for her thoughts. I also take a small camera that I'm using to film myself right now so I can't show you. I also like to take some clips of what's happening around that area just for my own record purposes, but really there isn't much gear that you absolutely need to take. I also tend to do my photo scouts alone because during a photo scout you are in this constant state of observing things. Your brain would constantly be running this creative marathon in which, in my case, I don't feel like talking to people and I don't feel like interacting with others because it detracts from my purpose. In this next video coming up, I will be showing you guys the actual shoot I did with Lavina, which we actually went to these locations that I scouted out in this video. I will also show you my editing process using Adobe Camera Raw, which really makes the image and the neon lights all pop some more. If you love the content you're seeing, hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so that you will be the first to know when the next video comes up. Thanks for sticking out for the entire video, and if you've made it thus far, chances are that you are very interested in portrait photography. Check out my Instagram where I give out quick and easy to follow tips on my captions about portraiture, and also do check out my recent blog post on how to set up collaboration shoots with fashion brands, in which I also covered the topic of location scouts in detail as well. That was a lot of information I've covered in this video and I hope that you took something away. I hope to see you in the next video, and for now, bye!